I'm Beau.
And I'm in the wrong chair.
This doesn't feel right.
No, let's do this.
You want to do the clap?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Well, that was awkward.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Beau.
And this is the Rogues Den Show. Today, we're going to be talking about possibly the greatest movie ever, or another movie that exists, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Well, it is one of my favourites. I pretty much based my entire persona as an actor on one character in this film. And
is it gay parody?
Yeah, that's it. My wife doesn't know about that one yet.
So, Kiss Kiss Bang... God damn it. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is directed by Shane Black. He also wrote it, right?
He adapted the screenplay from a novel.
Right.
Bodies Are Where You Find Them is the novel.
Oh,
which I didn't know up until very recently, so that's
Very
pretty
recently.
impressive that it's a novel adaptation.
And who wrote the novel?
Oh, that would be Brett Halliday.
Brett Halliday wrote the novel. He also worked on the screenplay, which is why he got part of the writing credit. Shane Black wrote this with him, and we also have Robert Downey Jr., starring as Robert Downey Jr., playing the charismatic, slightly suave arsehole that he is really good at, but he's really young.
Well, yeah, he wasn't, I guess, like, comparatively, he was really young, but he was probably early 40s at that point.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, this is pre-Iron Man. Interesting piece of trivia about this film is that Jon Favreau actually saw him in this film and went, that guy could be Iron Man. And the rest is history.
I can see it. Then we have Val Kilmer as the wonderfully named Gay Perry, or Perry to his friends.
No last name. Val Kilmer is exceptional in this film. He's very, very funny. Absolutely dry as a bone, but it plays out so well. So obviously you've got the classic trope in any kind of, well, from a genre point of view, the way I have always described this film to anyone that I recommend to watching it, and by which I mean everyone, is...
It's this, and it is the book. Dresden Files. This isn't Dresden Files. That's
that's
your
my.
name too.
I'm like a door knocking religious person. I just rock up and I'm like, have you heard about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? You should see it, and then I leave. Sometimes if no one's home, I leave a flyer.
Genre.
Yeah, so genre. I refer to this as noir buddy cop action comedy. So it's a bit of a mouthful, but it kind of encapsulates everything that goes on in this film. And I love everything about it. It's very, has that like old gumshoe kind of detective story, some very dark humor, and a lot of really great action that's not ever... I think it's something that we've kind of lost a little bit of in a lot of modern action films in terms of like, it's all practical effects. Like there's nothing in this film that goes beyond anything...
It's plausible.
Yeah. Like you're like, yeah, that car could drive off that bridge.
Yeah. It's plausible if ridiculous. And I like that they react to ridiculous things like real people.
Right.
Like, there's a scene where they're playing Russian roulette. And he just shoots him.
Yeah.
And like,
it's literally the first bullet kills him. And he's like, whoa. What are the odds? And Val Kilmer's like, you put a bullet in there, and he's like, yeah, you know, it's like, one in six.
It's like no, he said it was like, well, it's like 6%. Like, why do you know math? We could quote this movie all day, but this is you have a thing with comedy.
I do.
Which I like. Can you explain it?
Okay, so the idea of in my opinion, good comedy comes from the actors not knowing or not being let in on the joke. So the actor doesn't know that what they're experiencing is a joke. It's a real life situation to them. So they're experiencing it as if it were a real event. So that to me makes it 10 times funnier than if the actor knows what's happening is funny, because then they're mostly just commentating on the fact that, oh yeah, I know I'm in a gag right now. A great example of comedy that doesn't know that it's a joke is Steve Carell in The Office. So if you any Office fans out there, you'll know he is so cringeworthy because of the stuff that he does. You're like, oh, please just stop it. But he doesn't know it's a joke, so it makes it 10 times funnier. But you're also like, brr.
In this, the half the jokes is Robert Downey Jr. not doing stuff out of impulse. Val Kilmer, who knows like protocols because he's done this before.
Yeah. He's a. So let's get into the characters just before we.
So we have a thief that broke into an audition.
Yeah.
And was like, and he had to write for a guy who thought that he killed his friend.
Right.
And he had just proceeded to think that he killed his friend.
Yeah.
So he just breaks down.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is method acting.
Yeah, he's like, that's a Brando shit. And I love that moment where you see, and this is the beauty of Robert Downey Jr. as an actor, is like he has those moments where like you can see him living the fact that he just got his friend killed. Like, I tried to tell him. And he gets all like worked up and emotional, and it's just a treat to watch. It's very entertaining. And then so from a character perspective, you then go on to Val Kilmer's character, who is a private detective in LA, affectionately referred to as Gay Perry. And there's a great line.
It's so good.
Robert Downey says to him, Gay Perry, you still gay? And he says, no, I'm knee deep in pussy. I just couldn't shake the nickname.
I just like the nickname.
Yes, I just like the nickname. So it's very tongue-in-cheek.
Everything that he says is the best thing in the movie. Like there's a bit where he's like, where they find a body in the car, and Val Kilmer accidentally shot her because he was shooting the car.
Oh yeah, he's shooting the lock off the boot of the car.
Yeah, and then Robert Downey Jr. You had to say his full name all the time. You can't just say Robert. Yeah, gross.
Who's that guy?
It was bad when you said it's bad when I heard it. But what I like is that he's like, they're not going to believe that we found a dead body and then proceeded to shoot her in the head. So they're like, no, you're right, we're going to get rid of this. But then he threw the gun, and he's like, where's my gun? And then he's like, I threw it in the lake. And he just was like,
everything that Robert Downey Jr. does in this film is
it's out of impulse,
but it's also because of his criminal past.
Yeah.
So it's like he even says, "I got priors back in New York. I can't be associated with this." So everything he does, and it's one of those characters where he just can't get out of his own way the whole film, which is really fun.
Was there a sequel to this?
No,
it feels
not
like
at
they
all.
were setting up a sequel to
I
this.
feel like this film is like if Guy Ritchie did an American film, that's what this kind of feels like.
I thought that this was Guy Ritchie until we looked up IMDb.
So it is Shane Black though, which is he wrote all the Lethal Weapon, well, most of the Lethal Weapon films. So it has that real sort of nostalgic vibe to it, which I really like.
So we got these two. Val Kilmer, if you haven't seen the documentary Val on Amazon, it's really good and goes into the kinds of characters that he likes to play, and he likes to play characters. He doesn't just like to be in movies. He wants to act properly with and get into things. He just doesn't just want to play himself in everything, which is a common thing for actors to do, where they're just like, I'm charismatic, you'll come to see me, like The Rock.
Yeah. Which he was kind of that guy for a while.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer, yeah, definitely. Like people would go and see movies because Val Kilmer was in it.
Yeah, but he wasn't relying on that.
No.
And this is a completely different character to everything else. There's also some bits where they do tropes in this type of movies, and then Robert Downey Jr. is doing the narration, or Harry is, I guess. So he's doing the narration, and he's like, man, that scene doesn't seem to be part of the movie.
Yeah, so they break the fourth wall quite a bit in terms of where the narrator breaks the fourth wall and is like, that's kind of a dumb movie thing.
That's a risk.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a risk to that because there's two ways that I can go. One is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and the second is every other movie that's ever done this. And which is like you've done the thing that you're making fun of, but you've still done it, so you're a bad movie.
Yeah.
Like in Deadpool 2, they make fun of the fact that they fridged his girlfriend, but then they make fun of the fact that just because you're making fun of the fact that you are fridging your girlfriend
doesn't mean it's going to make the movie better.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it makes the movie better.
Yeah.
And then at this point, it's like, eh.
I do like they defy stereotypes in this. So Robert Downey Jr. It plays Harry Lockhart, who's like the hero of the story. And there's this great moment where there's this seedy guy at a party that's trying to take advantage of a really drunk girl. And Robert Downey's character goes like, "Hey man, that's fucked up." And it is. And then he's like, "But let's take it outside." And then they proceed to go outside where Robert Downey gets his ass whooped.
Yeah,
by
the
this
entire
guy.
time.
And it's kind of like, because you kind of, everyone wants to be that guy that's like the hero of the story, but 9 times out of 10, you'd probably get your ass handed
Oh
to
my
you.
God, if that happened, I exactly the same thing would happen to me. If I tried to fight someone.
Same. That guy would hurt me.
Yeah. There's also Perry's entire character is A, defying stereotypes, and B, he's doing a trope. Because there's a trope of the tough, funny gay guy who is A, the gay best friend, and also really pissed off at everyone, which is in itself a trope.
Yeah, I also kind of like that he tries to not be Harry's friend. Like there's even parts where he's like, "Oh, I'm feeling really down about this." He's like, "Cool, don't call me." So there's a lot of that like anti sort of trope as well there. Which I like.
But also I don't. By the end of the movie, I don't feel like they're friends. I feel like they're begrudging partners. At best.
Yep, definitely.
I also get the feeling that Harry really wants to be his friend.
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, but Perry's like, "Oh God, I have to deal with your bullshit."
And also like the in-jokes in like about the Hollywood scene where they're like, "You were never going to get this role," because he basically part of the premise of the story is that Harry gets flown from New York to LA to be shortlisted for this role that he auditioned for when he was on the run, basically. And so
accidentally auditioned for. I can't emphasize enough. He walks in, runs in, busts through, and is like, well, he's not on the call sheet, but we really like it.
Yeah. So then he gets like shortlisted for this role, and then when he gets to LA, he's like, "I'm gonna shoot this movie. I got to be really careful. I don't hurt myself, all this sort of stuff." And then they're like, "You were never gonna get this role. Like they literally got you in to make so and so celebrity interested in taking the role." So I like that there's a bit of Hollywood
I've heard
in-jokes.
happen a lot.
And they kind of they make a lot of comments on like the girl at the party that's like, "Oh, like I'm an actress, I've been in movies," and then they flash to the movie that she was in. It's like this D-grade horror film.
Which like that is Peter Cushing's entire career,
Right.
where he's this really good actor, but he does like camp horror movies. If I'm being honest, her kind of movie is exactly the kind of shit I'd like.
Right.
I'd watch that.
You would.
And then you have this this woman who's like, "I've just been in a commercial," and it's a really shit commercial. But he's like, "You've been in a commercial though."
So another little bit of trivia for you. So the scene at the start of the film where there's the kid that's Harry as a kid, and he's a magician, and he saws Michelle Monaghan's character
And
in half.
they have like prosthetics.
Yeah.
There, that kid. I don't know if he did it or if she did, but someone put effort into that magic trick.
Well, that kid is actually Robert Downey Jr.'s eldest son.
Oh, that's cool.
So
That explains it. You can have him in the movie. He doesn't do that much acting, and he looks just like him.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's good. That works. So this movie, really funny.
Very fun.
You tell everyone that will listen
Yes.
to watch it.
I do.
We've done a summary. Why should the people watch it?
I think if you just enjoy good entertainment, it has that that same sort of feeling that you used to get. When have you ever been to Movie World, Warner Brothers Movie World?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever go there when you were a kid?
Yeah.
And that like just excitement of seeing like the stunt stuff. I don't know. It just has that kind of nostalgic. A film from another time that still holds up kind of feeling to it. There's it feels like a really authentic, fun, original film. Like you wouldn't see another Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It is what it is.
It feels very unique, despite the fact that they're literally doing tropes and pointing out the tropes. I think the fact that that works at all makes it unique because, my God, has that never worked before?
Well, that's what I was most excited for when they announced that Shane Black was going to do Iron Man 3. Was that it was going to be that kind of same, uniting Robert Downey Jr. with him, and it would be like a really different thing, and it was. Turns out it was very against formula. But I feel like the more I watch Iron Man 3, the more I love it for those same sort of qualities that it has to Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
I like people that like try and hit a home run, even if they miss.
Right.
This one hits it, but even if they miss the home run, if you try and then you get that way instead, it's still interesting rather than playing it safe. Like nothing is more boring than a 2 out of 5.
Right, and it's not a long film either, which I
Oh no,
quite
it
enjoy
is.
about it.
It's like 80 minutes, which I appreciate. It's like an hour and 40 minutes or an hour and 37 minutes. It's not. It's short, which is great because this thing could overstay its welcome so hard.
Yeah, I tell you what it is. It's a pre-Inception film.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain what that is.
Well, I feel like after Inception came out, people like judged movies to this like way higher standard. So I kind of like that it had this like level of simplicity to it that you go in and you go, it is what it is.
Yes, I like movies that they're like, we're doing this. If you don't like it, why are you here?
Yeah.
I like movies that it is quick paced, but like it's properly paced. And I like the fact that the love interest who is played by Michelle Monaghan.
Yeah.
So I like that
She's fantastic in this film, by the way. She has so much charisma.
Yeah, she's so fun, and she also solved the case before them, but then it was like, yeah, it was dumb though.
Yeah.
I failed. I don't think so. So her entire character arc is she needs to build up her self-confidence.
Right.
But she did solve the case before them, and then Harry tells Perry about that, and he was like, "Oh, shit, she's right. Damn."
Another piece of trivia, there's a scene where Perry and Harry are being tortured by the bad guys.
Oh, yeah, that's fucked.
Robert Downey Jr. wanted it to feel authentic, so he wanted to feel a little bit of pain, obviously not the amount of pain that he would have been feeling had he had his testicles electrocuted. But so what he did, behind him in the chair, he had his wife, Susan Downey, who was one of the producers on the film, come up behind him out of shot and literally grab the skin on his back and twist. So like when he's going, oh, he's actually in pain. So
that's
yeah.
Yeah, I feel that as you described it, I'm like, yeah, that'll do it.
So when he did Tropic Thunder later on, they said to him, what did you base your character on? So he's this overcommitted method actor.
Yeah.
And he's like, sadly, my sorry ass self. Which is very fun.
That's so good. I like Robert Downey Jr. I think he's super charismatic. It works for him here. You gonna read the book?
I might give it a go, actually.
I don't know if it's.
I mean, give me 6 months to 12 years, and I'll get there.
We're busy. We can barely watch a movie. I had to watch this movie this morning because I ran out of time.
Yeah, when you messaged me at what, like 5:45 or something? I'm like, how are you? What did you just burn all the way through the night, or did you wake up early to watch it?
I'm committed, but I'm also busy.
And then you were probably thinking, why is he even up?
Yeah, I was.
How was he replying?
I was planning on like texting you, and then like at 8 a.m. when you come and get me, you just reply then. It's like, oh, cool. I guess we're doing this now.
So what was your favorite scene in the whole film?
Oh God, there's so many. Everything that they do together, like all of their scenes, is great. You got Perry and Harry are just hilarious together, and but it's I think the Russian roulette scene because of how shocking it is.
Yeah, yeah.
There's also I like the fact that this is a real I like the fact that this is real. This is a real mystery.
Yeah.
It's a real danger that they're in. And I think you're right. There's a trend now. I don't know if it's just Disney or if it's mainly Disney because they own
I think
everything.
it's mainstream cinema as a whole.
But it is we know that we're in a comedy.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And-
That trend. Okay.
Yeah. We know we're in a comedy and we're going to make jokes about the fact that we're in a comedy. That's the reason in Thor Ragnarok that Korg works so well. Because he's just there doing his thing and he's hilarious.
It's very funny. My favorite scene. my favorite scene is it's a tie between the lakeside, the bit where they're by the lake, and he's just thrown the gun in the water, and he's like he says to Perry says to Harry, if you were to look up the definition of the word stupid in the dictionary, do you know what you'd find?
A
And he goes,
picture of me.
And he said, no, you'd find the definition of the word stupid, which you fucking are. That's one of my favorite scenes. But then from an opposite point of view, there's a scene where Robert Downey Jr. actually kills a guy for real. Well, not in the movie, his character kills him for real.
No, it's a documentary. Go on.
But it's the way he kills him. Like, he shoots him, but it's not like, the typical tough guy, like, I shoot you and I feel nothing kind of thing.
Yeah.
He feels so much as he's shooting this guy, but it's not because he knows what he's doing is wrong, but what this guy's done is, in his eyes, is so reprehensible that
he
just
murdered
lets him have it.
someone.
Yeah.
The guy that
In cold blood, like-
yeah, the guy that Robert Downey Jr. is killing is a murderer, and you see her die, which is fucked.
Yeah, and it's not like a quick one. It's like she's like, it's horrific. And then so he gets up out from hiding under the bed, and the gun's on the bed, and he just picks it up and just goes.
Yeah, and before that happens, the guy that he's about to kill.
Oh, he's like, what are you going to do, shoot me? And he's like, pretty much.
Yeah.
But,
this is such a good movie.
It's very
I
fun.
wish there was a sequel.
But I kind of like that it's just its own thing and that like it'll never be sullied by a bad sequel.
Well, yes, but also I'd like a good sequel.
Okay, that's
I
fair.
want to point out, didn't want a bad sequel.
I mean, it's not off the cards.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, he's not doing Iron Man anymore, and that Dr. Dolittle thing didn't work out. So what's he got going on? Probably Iron
Sherlock
Man.
Holmes 3, actually.
Sherlock Holmes 3. Oh, we should do a podcast on that.
Yeah, we should. What should we call it?
Anything but Holmes and Watson.
That is an excellent name. You can find that on Spotify, just FYI.
So, anything else? Anything else we should talk about?
It's a great film. Give it a watch. Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang. Shane Black, some classic 2005, just solid nostalgia. Give it a watch.
It's pretty fun. And with that, until next week, I've been Dan.
And I have been Beau.
And this has been the Rogues Den Show.
See you next week.
Bye.
Nice!